The Quench, where you ask, we answer.
And we're back. Now, before we went on the break, we were discussing the chaos in the chaotic world. We gave a number of examples of different kinds of chaos in the chaotic world, and then we went ahead to divide them into different groups. And now we want to actually talk about how to deal with them. One of them that you actually gave us was addiction. Let us specifically talk about addiction to whatever, whether it is pornography, whether it is drugs, whether it is social media. And Nelly pointed out something very nice. She said, social media is good if you use it for the best things, yeah? But when you're supposed to read for your cats, and then you spend 16 hours on social media, you finish with Twitter, you finish being a Kenyan on Twitter, throwing your insults at everyone who cares to listen, and then you go to Instagram, post a few pictures, and then look at everyone who has posted their pictures, and then you go to Twitter, you go where? WhatsApp, TikTok, hey. How do you deal with that?
Okay, thank you very much. It begins with identifying that one thing that you feel takes more time than it should. And she gave a good example. You're in the library, but you're there looking at memes and sending some for WhatsApp groups. So if there's that one thing that you feel is taking either your time to study, your time for work, for those who are working, your time for sleep, because people, I think one of the things that happens at night ni hizo memes na kuangalia ma status. So if it's taking more time than it should, then it can as well be defined as an addiction. So how do you deal with it? You identify it. Then you get to know what are some of the triggers. Because everything that you are addicted to has a trigger. Is it that when I'm with my phone, I'll get the temptation of going to TikTok? Is it that when I have data bundles at a given time, I'm always, for some of us, we are always online? And it is so bad because I think personally I'm recovering from that of the social media, because I find myself, I'm driving, but I still want to check. Has someone texted on WhatsApp? You know, it is so bad, and it can cause even accidents, can cost you big time. So you need to know what really triggers or what facilitates that addiction. If it is addiction to drugs, is it that when I have surplus in terms of money, ndio nataka kwenda kushika kishisha, ndio nataka kwenda kushika kindom? You need to ask yourself, what is that one thing that encourages the addiction? Then you start by getting rid of that. If the addiction is so bad for the social media, it doesn't hurt to even now do a kabambe. I know we are in time and age. Kama hauna smartphone, unafeel uko nyuma. Sometimes it is so bad that people are having to go to take such drastic measures. If it is addiction to, say, porn, that I gave an example, for instance, you need to know, is it that nikivisit site fulani, FB niende nione manzi amevaa hivi ama chali amevaa hivi, six pack, my boys,
Nako confused.
Una confused kana katika. So you need to know what really drives you to the given addiction. Kama ni drugs, kama ni friends. So you start cutting that slowly by slowly. Sometimes you cannot just do it abruptly. And in fact, it is not realistic to say that you'll just stop once and for all. Nimeokoka Yesu ni Bwana, kuanzia leo nimeachana na hii addiction.
No,
it doesn't work like that. It is a gradual process.
Yes.
You have to start, if you are addicted to something, say for a given period of time, reduce by even 30 minutes.
Yes.
Go on, reduce by an hour. Before you know it, you would have eliminated it. Because you are told, I think, for a habit, if you're able to do something consistently for 21 days, then you're able to change that habit and adopt to a new one. So start gradually and know where the trigger is, get rid of that, then before you know it, you'll be able to get out of it. Some of them are so serious that you may not be able to do it alone. You require someone to work with you. It can be a coach, it can be a counselor. It can as well be that person you really trust, an accountability partner. If you have someone who will hold you accountable, then you are able to get out of it easily. Because sometimes we struggle so much because you don't even want to talk about it. You don't even want to admit that I'm addicted to something. So it starts with admission and then getting help from that person you can trust, ndio uweze to get out of that given addiction. But it is possible. It may be difficult. Sometimes you'll try, backslide, try again. Don't give up, because addictions are serious issues that we need to handle from time to time, but it is possible to do it.
Okay, let's just clap for that. I love the way you broke it down for us. You said that the first thing you have to do is identify the problem. In every problem solving chronology of processes, it's always number one, identify the problem. And you also said identify the trigger. What is causing you to behave the way you're behaving? Whatever it is, identify it and then start doing away with it. Now, the problem with us is that we won't change like this, okay? You have decided, I will stop being addicted to pornography. I will stop being addicted to masturbating. Let's call it as it is. And then you decide, I will just stop. No. It needs to be gradual.
Yeah.
So that it's your body and everything, your mind doesn't notice the immediate difference and then wants to just jump back. A gradual process. Start even with 30 minutes.
Yes.
Reduce the amount of watching by 30 minutes. Reduce the amount of social media time by 30 minutes.
Yes.
Pole. So that is a very nice way to look at it. The next chaos I want us to look at is societal pressure. She had mentioned it. Societal pressure, and I want to even put it together with fake friends. Because we have people that are always complaining on our WhatsApp, and wamepitia vitu mingi. So fake friends is an actual problem, okay? Because you don't really know where to turn to without your friends. Your friends form a foundation for you. They actually define how you behave and how you treat other people based on how they treat you. So when you have fake friends, it actually becomes a societal issue. So societal pressure, peer pressure, and issues in the societal, including relationships. How do you deal with that?
So I think I'll start with societal pressures, giving my example, getting to politics now. This young lady, I just finished school in 2019. Well, went to practice teaching for 1 year, then decided I'm not passionate. I'm passionate about leadership and governance. So I quit. What's the first reaction from my parents? You've wasted my money.
Yes.
Umeniwestia pesa. Because I just told my mom I'm quitting. And I sent my resignation letter. I was teaching at Nakuru Girls High School.
Oh, I went to Nakuru Girls High School.
Oh, I taught music in Nakuru Girls. So I just sent a resignation letter and just decided to quit. So you see, tayari hata nyinyi mko like, uko serious wewe, eh?
I'm still wondering. Okay.
Yeah, my parents actually, especially my mom, because she had really invested so much in seeing me do this course and start working. Our parents wale, as we are, I tend to believe I'm a millennial here. So our parents really believed in you going to school and getting a job. Sindio? So this is me, I've quit a well-paying job, because music is a well-paying job. You cannot really equate it with other subjects, because you have other avenues of actually getting money out of it. So I've decided to quit and I'm getting to politics. The next thing now after the parents, this is a community now, the Maasai community. They expect you're a lady when you're done with school or even stop going to school, you immediately get married. So here I am, a young lady who's just decided to join into politics. So the society looks at you very different and starts seeing you as an outcast.
Yeah.
Why is she going there? She wants to mislead because uko kwa Masai, when you get to politics and you're a woman, then you're already a rebel. Yeah. That means you won't listen to your husband, you won't listen to the elders who have so much respect. And then, so they see you as an outcast. So the society really expects you now, coming from the Maasai community. I'm not Maasai, I'm a Kipsigis, but I tend to have grown in a Maasai community. So they see you as now you're not one of them, and you want to, unataka kuharibu other girls. So because as much as I'm getting to politics, some other girl young there ataanza kusema, if she was able to hadi amekuwa picked kwa secretariat ya Raila, then why not me? She would want to try it out pia. But sasa now the society sees you as trying to spoil their culture with their girls, right? So how do we get out from this? You have mentorship programs. You have to have a mentor. For me, I had a mentor. Dr. Lillian Gogo is my mentor. I had the late Laboso, Governor Laboso, as my mentor. So these are women who have traversed and went through this, especially Laboso. Laboso got married in a Luo community, but she still came back home and became the governor. Otherwise, society would have told her, you went and got married to a Luo community, so we expected you usimame na huko, but they accepted it. So part of it is mentorship. When you're able to have a mentor or a coach, as my colleague said, then this person will be able to guide you and see that you pass all these obstacles and be able to succeed.
Yeah.
Number two, you talked of relationships now. We have so much going on, and part of it is kind of connected with mental health. If you're not able to solve the issue of mental health, and that is why we have us. I am part of the National Youth Council, which is the national voice of the youths in Kenya. The government consults with us to be able to also know the issues involving the youths. So once we are pushing for this mental health, it really needs to be taken seriously because it actually affects our relationships. And that is why you get people killing each other. So kama ni relationship, I know we are students here, but I want to believe some are already in relationships because we've had stories, some meet in campus and they end up getting married, right? So if you see something is not working, do not take it in your heart and do not accept rejection. I mean, rejection is normal, so you don't take it at heart. Enye unaona akinikataa, then it means no one else will have you. So if something is not working, get out of it, get away. Just leave and start a new life. It will be hard, but you'll be having a peace of mind. So if something is not working when it comes to relationships, please do not stay. Do not say that I will stay so that it changes. You won't. Once someone puts a hand on you, it can never change. The next time it will be an object. Then the next time we will be mourning you. So you can't stay. Immediately something happens. What's your first reaction? Just leave. Don't even get there uanze kuargue sasa. Just leave for your peace of mind, for your security, and for your life. Please just leave to avoid issues. We tend to have, when you have people arguing, kwa wingi watu nasema, when you argue with a fool, you become a fool. So if someone decides to start chaos with you in a relationship, you'd rather keep quiet and look stupid, but you're trying to protect your peace of mind, you're trying to protect your life. Because mental health bado inaingilia. If someone is not right in their thinking, is not right in their head, then this is a person who will react differently. So instead of you aggravating this or elevate your hasira, you'd rather stay quiet or stay low, let him akasirike, and then I think it also comes with how we manage our anger issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still bado tu ni mental health.
Yeah.
And that is why we are really pushing for mental health.
But now if you tell people to walk out, if anything happens, does it not become an issue? Because someone mentioned the issue of responsibility. And they said that the youth today are actually becoming irresponsible. So someone gets someone pregnant and they decide, I don't want to be part of this, so they leave. Okay, that's the gentleman way. But we have the people getting pregnant, leaving the kids to their parents, and actually not becoming responsible for them. Unoga mkono mtoto wako. You get? These things are actually happening, right? So if we tell them to walk away from when things get hard, because you gave a few examples where people are supposed to walk away, but there are certain issues that you need to stay and solve them. So how do you actually deal with that, with the irresponsibility of today?
Okay, well, you've given an example of now having a kid and someone decides to walk out. Do you people ever read the Constitution?
Hey,
Nani hata
there's a part of the Constitution that says something about that.
No, it does not specifically say something about kids. But now when kids are involved, do you as youth know that just 2 weeks ago, Parliament passed a bill about a Child's Act, Children Act of 2021.
Yeah.
So are you able now, unaona penye Constitution inaingilia?
Yeah.
So we have the legal ways. Constitution enyewe, it has just the guidelines. But you have these other acts connected to the Constitution, kama the Children's Act. If you have a child with someone, na mtu hataki kukua responsible, what does this act say? You're able to use legal channels. This act says, first you issue this person, you go to Social Security Services. A social officer will be able to issue, if it's a father who is supposed to be responsible and decides to run away. So a Social Security will issue a letter to this father. Why have you run from your responsibility? Because this kid is your responsibility. Why don't you want to provide for them? Number two, So he has a grace period to respond. If it doesn't, then this social officer will be able to take this matter up to a pro bono legal advice, that is a lawyer. And this lawyer will be able to again issue a letter such that if you don't respond, then hapo ndio mnapatana kwa children's court. Na hapo ndio sasa a court will now decide whether umekataa ama utaki ama unataka. You must be responsible for this. So for you to really avoid getting to all these cases, before hata mfike kotini, this social worker or social officer will be able to also offer you advices. If you're not able to fully be responsible, utaulizwa, where can you help? Yeah. Where can the mother help? So that you find a common agreement or a common way of trying to raise this kid. Well, I was just speaking kidogo because you asked where in Constitution does it sit.
Yeah.
So, I remember in our previous engagement, she talked of lack of information.
Yeah.
We tend to complain of bad governance, but this bad governance happens because these leaders also do not have people to hold them accountable. If you see a leader doing something wrong and you're not able to speak up, because the Constitution gives you the power to really speak up. You have the sovereign power. The very first part of the Constitution says that the people are the sovereign.
Yeah.
So no leader is above you because they are there because of you. You've delegated them these jobs.
Okay.
And there are very many channels of you speaking up. It doesn't have kuatusi. I know we use Twitter. I'm also a very active Twitter user, but I use my Twitter for engagements of political issues and trying to come up with... right now, we have the climate issues.
Okay, yeah.
We've been speaking of drought a lot.
Yeah, we have.
This drought-led areas, kumekuwa na mvua kidogo. Take, for example, Mandera or Garissa. It has been so dry, but right now, this week, yenye mvua imeanza, kumenyesha kidogo. But what is the leadership there doing? Nothing. Juzi tumekuwa Twitter tukiwaambia,
it's raining and you're not collecting.
Sorry to speak if there's a Muslim here or is a Muslim listening to us, but their leaders were busy saying on Twitter, Alhamdulillah, it has rained. But what are you doing about it?
What are you? You're not collecting
Some of these areas or counties like Garissa and Mandera, they are the counties that get a bigger share of the budget. Compared to Nairobi, Mandera gets a lot of money kuliko Nairobi because of the hardship. So instead of this county government trying to create a solution, sahi kunanyesha, why don't we come up with water pans and water reservoirs to be able to store this particular water? Isaidie watu in future. Instead, they are celebrating it's raining, but they are not doing anything. And then mvua ikiisha, where are we back to? Drought.
Yeah.
So as youth, speak up, seek information. There are very many channels. These county offices, you have place where you can go write your opinions or your letters to them, and even online, kama hawezi jipeleka your emails, or even try and find lobby groups. I've known Mimi Sapa, I'm a member of a youth council. Why don't you reach out to me if you have an issue that is affecting your community? Reach out to me, reach out to your leaders. That is because you're there. Because the purpose of the National Youth Council is actually to be the voices of the youth to the government.
Yes.
Because the government consults with the National Youth Council on youth issues for that matter.
Well, we could talk about governance all day long when Nelly is involved. We could actually break it down in all circles. We could even get to the chairs. The chairs are white because of this, and Nelly will have a constitution, of course. But I actually want to take us back to the survival of the chaos, yes? And in 1 minute or so, I want you to talk about irresponsibility. Because it all gets down to irresponsibility, yeah?
Yeah.
That is why we choose the shortest way out. We go for our babas, because we don't want to take that responsibility to actually deal with the economic status. And when it comes to the economic issues, yeah, we need to take responsibility and take that extra step that is needed to actually deal with the economic issues under the sun. In relationships, again, responsibilities of your own actions, your own words, and everything about you. So how do the young people become responsible, even as they are trying to survive in this chaotic world? 1 minute or so.
Thank you. I'll start by saying that everything you do has a consequence. Every decision, every choice, every action, on the other hand, there is a consequence. And you need to take responsibility of both, what you did and what the outcome of that which you did. So as a young person, one of the biggest way to deal with these issues and Nelly talked about them, is having a mentor.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily have to learn from your own mistakes. Sometimes get someone who can guide you as a mentor. You learn from their own mistakes. It's better and faster that way than waiting for you to get there. As far as responsibility is concerned, and especially boy child, manze, kawe ni boyo na ukona mtoi mahali and you don't take care of them, you should not call yourself a man. Nelly might have talked about the women, but the reality is, by the time unakatia huyo dem, mimi ni bonge because I'm a father.
Yeah.
Unakatia huyo dem na muingiza box na anakubali, manze jua the next thing that is likely to happen ni kupata mtoi. Usigoje kupelekwa kwa children's officer. Usipeleke ama upelekwe kotini uanze kuambiwa salary yako itakuwa ikienda hivi. Take responsibility. And even beyond issue your child, even your own life, you need to know that your life is in your hands. God does his bit of provision and giving you the mind to think how you can provide. You have to move. Usikae comfort zone ugoje vitu zi happen. There is a manna zilishanga, manna from heaven. It only happened once. Wakati wa hiyo jani ya Israelites. Saizi ni wewe kufanya kazi na mikono yako na kutumia brains zako.
Yeah.
So usigoje mbabas ndio kufeed kawe ni dem na kawe ni chali usigoje mamas asikianga mama
wako.
Hatutataja hiyo gari mama si mnawajua usigoje hao the thing is God has blessed you with brains. God has given you numerous opportunities. Run with them, go for them, reach out to people who you think are doing well. Ask them, how did you make it? Because solutions are out here with people. And that's why I'm happy with what you're doing, Wangechi. These kind of engagements are the ones that will make the young people out there know that there is hope. So there is hope. It's all not lost. It doesn't mean because other girls are going to ababas, other young boys are getting to crime, pia wewe ufuate that path. There's always a positive path that unaweza ukasimama na useme I'm proud of this decision and the way that I'm following. It is possible and you can do it.
Yes. So it is possible. You can survive in this world.
Yes.
It is possible for you to actually take the next step that you need. We need to be responsible. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, say it with me. I need to be responsible.
I need to be responsible.
When it comes to surviving in this world with all of the chaos, responsibility comes first. And it is not responsibility to anyone else, to yourself, okay? Responsibility to yourself is the thing that you say to yourself when you decide, I am dressing like this, not because so-and-so said this is a trend, not because I can afford it, not because I can't afford it, because I am dressing like this, okay? And knowing that to every action, I repeat this, there's a reaction, okay? So if you decide to dress in a certain way, to behave in a certain way, to talk about something, know that it will come back to bite you. That being said, it is important for us to be responsible. Something that Nelly keeps putting forward is that the youth today have shut themselves down, okay? Yeah, we can actually talk about how the systems of governance don't favor us. We could sit down, cry today, tomorrow. But unless you take initiative, why are you crying? Why are you barking? Why are your dog that is barking and you're not taking initiative? You need to take initiative. I need to take initiative in whatever field. Whether if you're a chef, whether you're a dancer, in whatever field, take initiative. Take initiative. Call out what needs to be called out. Say it as it is and take the initiative. Are we together? So with that, we call it an episode. Thank you very much for joining us today. The art of survival has been given to us by our very able panelists, and the chaos of this world have been mentioned to us by the statistically well-represented audience. We will see you next time, but remember, the art of survival is taking responsibility. Thank you very much. My name is WANGECHI KARIMI, and this was The Quench with MBCI TV.
The Quench, where you ask, we answer.